What's up guys, MainManSWE here, hoping you're all doing awesome as always, and in this particular video we're going to listen to Rip, a lovely Rip, his thoughts on Tekken 8 Law. He played the alpha in Japan. I think he also played at a press event in LA. I played Tekken 8 Law, all secrets revealed, so we're gonna listen to a full breakdown, but I just have to start by saying, like, what I'm most displeased with so far when it comes to the gameplay of Tekken 8 actually has to do with Law. So for those of you who don't know, which is many of you, is that his DSS, if you don't know what that is, that's Dragon Sign Stance. And this is one of the mechanics Law is the most famous for. It's a stance transition that is highly technical. The first game to incorporate this was Tekken 4, I believe it was. You press, for example, he can do this from many attacks. The most famous transitions are 4-3, so that's double high kick into DSS, or while standing 4 DSS. You do this by tapping 4-3, and between the kicks, you gotta be very fast and precise, and press back, forward, forward. And if you time it correctly, it cancels into DSS, and now you can immediately do a Dragon Sign Stance attack. One of the coolest things about Law, in my opinion, is that there's a gigantic difference between a baby Law, a beginner Law, an intermediate Law, and an expert Law. Because they play a completely different Law. Like, if you play ranked battle in Tekken and you're playing like green ranks, even up until like Vanquisher rank, you can run into Laws who play like, you know, down for 2, hop kick, down 2-3, double flip, dragon tail, and it's like, well, that's like the majority of Law players. But when you play against an expert Law, the character completely changes. And suddenly he's doing very basic stuff like a while standing 4 on hit or block into a perfectly inputted DSS, and suddenly the character has like unbelievable pressure. Or he'll hit you with a 4-3 and DSS and he's like plus 17. And if you've seen Gosane play, who is a UK Law player, he'll hit almost every time what is like a frame perfect, or you have like 1 frame of leniency. He does a while standing 4 on counter hit, and he Twitch confirms it. He sees that the opponent moves, while standing 4 counter hit, and then perfect DSS into 3-4-4 launcher. And it does like unbelievable damage, even without a wall. So that execution barrier led to tremendous differences between, like, you know, beginner Laws and expert Laws. Monumental difference in how what the character output looks like and how the character is played. And that distinction in Tekken 8 has been flushed down the fucking toilet. Because now, DSS is no longer a back, forward input. You simply hold forward now. And this is something I heard about after the test in Lyon. I was there with Spag, he played Law, but he was doing the old input, and he didn't really notice this. Because he's doing the old input, and that still counts as holding forward, right? But someone tweeted, like, hey, I'm a Law player. By the way, DSS, you just hold forward. And I was like, this can't be true. This is basically the equivalent of making the electric input like down for 2. I'm like, no, they didn't do that. But then Arya, Blasted Salami guy, he actually tested this in Japan at the Alpha at Evo. And he was like, yeah, you can just hold forward now. And to me, it's just an absolute tragedy. You take a character with one of the most interesting and highest skill ceilings in the game, tons of player expression, and you just, it's completely removed. They didn't simplify it, they completely removed the skill ceiling. Law used to be a famously all-round character where you know, he can't do anything. He excels at defense, he excels at offense, very well-rounded. And at the same time, he pleased both beginners and experts, much in large due to that skill ceiling. If you spend time with this character, he grew with you. But now they basically said, well, we think design-wise he should be a beginner character. So we need to remove the skill ceiling because beginners should have access to DSS and just use it straight up with no work whatsoever. And yeah, it's just some people don't believe in execution, that it shouldn't be there. But to me, this is just very, very upsetting in my opinion. I really personally liked that, and it was such a blast watching the super devoted law players. So it's just, it's probably the gameplay change I'm the most displeased with so far in Tekken 8. And if I was a law player, I would be really upset at this, personally. But so I don't know how you guys feel about it.
I played Tekken 8.
But so let's listen to Rip and all of the changes to law.
It's amazing, right?
Told you. 55.
They were doing only like a 20-minute session, but they came back and found me later, and they let me play Hellas. So I played it.
Yeah, probability. It has to be. Someone's writing in the chat. I hope they change it. And again, we're still only in alpha. They could change it for the beta or for the final release of a game. But my hunch here, I'm just speculating, of course, is that they made the decision that, well, we do want Law to be a beginner character, so we remove the execution of a character. There is none. But in my opinion, you can just have kept the green rank Law with down for 2 hop kicks. He still has all of these shenanigans and panic buttons that beginners like. But you could have left the DSS for the experts. But I think they made the call that we want him to be a beginner and beginner character, and beginners should have access to all of his tools. So DSS simply hold forward. But yeah, I just couldn't disagree more.
Right? That same day, right? And then I came back the next day, and I came back again the next day. So I got 3 days in a row. And let me tell you, it's important to get multiple days in a row with Tekken 8, because when you just played like 20-minute session, you don't really get to experience everything. You can't really
process
the muscle memory required to execute the new stuff, right? You also don't have as much time to test things. So basically, they came over and said like, hey, you guys are playing. We don't have anyone back there right now. Would you guys like to come back and play Tekken 8? So we go back there, and we just played Tekken 8. It was awesome. It was so awesome, dude. Inner circle. That's what it felt like, for real, you know? But okay. All right, all right. I've teased you guys long enough, all right? Here we go, all right? One of the coolest
Did he say he played it 3 days in a row? That's fucking amazing.
Auto-Parry is back from DSS. When you're in heat
only
mode.
in heat, right?
And it's only the punches. So every single time you do DSS, Law is parrying punches while you're in heat. Oh yeah, just like that, right? Every time, only in heat, boom, punch parry.
I think the last time he had this was in Tekken 6. And Law, for those of you who don't know, Law was absolutely fucking disgusting in Tekken 6. He's for free jailed. So if you blocked the first kick, you had to block the second kick. And then if you did DSS, he had auto-parry on punches. And he was so good. He was so good in Tekken 6.
Here's another little tip for it. DSS 1, the high attack, automatically goes into DSS. So you go DSS 1, DSS 1, DSS 1. Every time in between that, it's an automatic punch parry. Mids and highs, all punches. Automatically the nunchuck attack, that's what happens. Amazing. So it's now in heat. Auto parry exists. It's back. Isn't that sick, dude? Bro, right? Look, I've been holding this in for like a week. A week and a half
S-tier material, but is it really auto parry in heat?
Ago, and I was like, what the f? Right? I was losing my shit over it. And so I've been like, so quiet. I have so much info I haven't told you guys, all right? That's just one of them. That's just one of them. You guys want more?
Yeah, please, Rip.
Remember that move from Law in the past?
I can't believe that the first thing he doesn't talk about is that DSS is hold forward now. How is this not the first thing you talk about?
The one was like a 3-hit string and it launched them up high.
It's the biggest change to Law in 20 fucking years.
Now in heat.
Come on, Rip.
1-2-1 is not there, but back 1-2-2 with heat. Boom! Sky high.
It's legit the biggest change to Law in 20 years. It came with Tekken 4, and that's in 2001. And then, of course, they nerfed Law's 344, no longer 14-frame launcher. Just, that was arguably the best move in Tekken 7. I'm sure you would agree, Ducky. Low 344, one of the best moves in Tekken 7.
My S-class launcher and heat, bro. So now Law has auto-parry back, and he's got back 1-2-1 kind of back in heat, right? So I was messing with the combos in there, and I was like, wait a second, you can do back 1-2-2. I was using it as like a screw attack, right? So I would do launcher, 4 up 3, right? Instant bound to activate heat, right? Now I got heat on, so I go back 1-2-2, fly them up in the sky, in mid combo still, dash up there, double flip kick, screw attack, 3+4 for ender or whatever. Crazy.
I love
crazy.
that bound.
Those are the two big ones. Those are
bound.
the two big ones for sure. Now let me tell you guys about something I'm not so happy about. All right. DSS. I have been mastering DSS for 20 plus years. I got the back forward timing down. I have been mastering my slide input. I have the input.
Oh no! Did they remove the execution on slide? Is it crouch down forward 3?
Pretty darn good. I can slide pretty fast, right?
Oh my fucking god. Right from... Oh no, I remember, even Spag saw this. If you do a DSS, when we played the alpha, he does a DSS, when he holds down forward, he goes into crouch position and he slides by tapping free, the free button. So does this mean you can do manual DSS down forward free? And you can cancel that so quickly you can't see the animation. So now you'll do slide from standing. You'll do manual DSS, down 1+2, and then super quickly down forward free. Oh! Oh! And you see Kreb, amazing League player by the way, and these low players do like god slides. They're so good at the input, like hold down forward, neutral, down forward free. They do it so quickly you can't believe it. They've practiced for years. You can't even see them crouching, and you're like, I can't do that. Granted, I haven't practiced that much, but it's like, oh, I'm so sorry, Rip. I did not mean to do that. That's better. Sorry. But holy shit. I can't believe he's not more upset by this. I would be heartbroken. Personally, I would be heartbroken. I mean, honestly, this is the equivalent of taking Kazuya and like, do you know how you wave dash now? You mash down forward. Down forward, down forward, down forward, down forward, down forward. I'll be like, what did you do to my character? I mean, seriously. Oh, wait. They won't do this to Lee. So Lee now, I mean, he's always been top 5 execution character in my opinion. But Lo was up there. So now Lo is going to be at the bottom of the heap together with Asuka. And Lee probably will retain the classic slide. He's not going to do a stance transition. Hitman into slide is my guess. He's going to remain classic slide input. So the difference in execution now between Lo and Lee, it didn't used to be that big at the highest level, but now it's going to be like a fucking mountain apart.
DSS now, the input is just forward. You don't have to do back forward. No, none of that. You just input forward. Even worse, wait for this. Say you do a screw attack, right? And you want to do 4-3 legend kick. All you do is this. You hold forward. 4-3, 4.
Oh,
that's it.
Wow. You don't have to run in, let go, tap 4-3, hold forward, 4. You dash forward, don't even let go of forward, 4-3, 4. So you buffer it. Oh. When your expert character, with this beautiful difference between God Law and beginner Law, when they turn him into Asuka. I was going to say with black hair, but Asuka is a brunette, right? So now you're now playing Asuka with nunchucks.
Because You're holding forward. The forward trigger was
Not
input,
really.
Now you're holding forward. Now you DSS, and now you hit the forward button. Now you get a forward magic kick.
Wow.
Yeah. So DSS now, it's baby mode. It is child proof. It is easy mode. It's not cool. So now all of the Gilkeys of the world.
Why do you hate Asuka? I don't hate Asuka. She's actually one of the best trailers so far due to that taunt mechanic. Super interesting gameplay mechanic to add to the most basic character. It's just that I don't like characters that are super basic. Like he said, like baby proof. It's one of the easiest characters to win with in beginner intermediate, and I couldn't be more disinterested in something like that. It's just the most basic, you know.
They can DSS now. The other thing that is kind of cool, kind of not cool, I'm kind of confused about it. Now when you're in DSS, you can tap or hold down forward and you will go into the crouch dash motion, right? So the crouch dash motion from DSS is kind of interesting. Like, that part sounds pretty cool, right? Like, oh, damn, now you can do crouch dash motion with DSS. That's a nice little extra tool to mix people up with. The thing is, you can do something like, you know, while standing 1, DSS, down forward, slide, right? And that's cool. Or you could do something that was like kind of fun to mess with. I would do like while standing forward, DSS, down forward, while standing forward, DSS, down forward, while standing forward, DSS, down forward. And you keep that kind of pressure going. People just ended up hop kicking me. That was fine, right? Because I could mix it up, obviously. But the thing about it that was kind of crazy for me was you can do down 1+2, down forward, right? So now down 1+2, manual DSS, down forward, 3, and you slide. So what that means is you can do a rip speed slide that will high crush essentially just by hitting down 1+2, down forward 3, right? So now,
yeah, so basically you can do a god slide that would be reserved for expert low players like Rip, you know, and the best, because that slide motion has been there since Tekken 1. It's very, very technical. There's such a difference between being able to do a consistent slide and doing a rip slide where you can't even see the crouch. It just comes out immediately. Very, very demanding execution. And that's now also gone. Flush down the toilet. And I can't, I love it. He's keeping such a positive face and spin on this, but I gotta say, personally, I would really dislike this.
You don't have to
I mean, I'm not a low main, and I hate this. I'm not a low main. I hate these changes to low. Keep that contrast. That made the character so much more interesting. That contrast. But again, it seems like they want low to be a beginner character. That seems to be the philosophy.
Blah, blah. All you do is down 1+2, down forward 3. That's it. And now you got a rip speed slide. So that's kind of
Yo, you
won.
won. Hope you're doing well.
Like, I feel like those were technical barriers that separated players, right? And now I feel like anyone can do it. So it's not that interesting to me. You know what I mean? There's no challenge anymore from DSS. There's no payoff for learning the character in that way. Please say slide is a true high crush now. I did not test that fully. That's confusing still. But it just feels like they dumbed down the character to a point now where, you know, it's a popular character. So there's going to be a lot of people that will play the character and they're going to enjoy the character. You know, doing the auto DSS stuff is kind of fun. Like, because you kind of explore the character even if you're a total scrub, you know? And
again, like, removing that execution meant that they had to nerf a character, obviously. Well, you can't keep a launching 14 frame 3-4-4. You can't keep that. If anyone now can do while standing for counter hit into that string. So removing that skill ceiling meant, okay, we actually have to nerf a character now because anyone can do this. Whereas the expert laws would do while standing for and with tremendous execution while standing for counter hit into launcher. But now that anyone can do that, we had to nerf 3-4.
I don't see
so
currently
shit.
what the payoff is for people to stick with the character and get good with the character. You know what I mean? Like, imagine if taunt jet up was just taunt and while you're holding back, you hit the 2 button, right? Wouldn't that feel kind of crappy? right? That's how I feel about this change. I don't know. Is that DSS and slide stuff only in heat mode or no? No. That DSS and slide stuff is at all times. At all times. Single flip kick with law is launch punishable, right? You guys know this. But did you know that double flip kick is only -14 now?
Oh.
So double flip kick is safer than single flip kick. Also, do you guys know that Law has this crazy mix-up where he goes like low kick flip or mid kick flip, right? Okay. Now, James...
Oh, no. If they made those -14, oh.
You're going to love this. You know how you key charge, you run up, you do low kick flip? Now if you land the counter hit of low kick flip, they just flip over and you get no combo. But it's...
Oh. Look, the low doesn't combo anymore.
safer on block. It's only -14 or something. And then, if you want to...
Right, but I mean, if you use a key charge setup and they block, you'll still get counter hit. But that's one hell of a panic move now. If he's not launch punishable anymore, and he can do that low, mid, fast low. It's generic low kick into flip. Counter hit launcher, only -14 now. It's good panic move.
Mix them up and you get the counter with down, forward,
Yeah, I
forward.
mean, that's a nerf. It doesn't launch anymore. That's a huge nerf.
3, which isn't really mixed up because the bottom one doesn't, the low one doesn't even launch. You get an instant screw attack, so you get a smaller combo, but it's safer on block, -14. So all the flip kick extensions now are safer, except for the single flip kicks. Now the single flip kick is launch punishable, but the other ones are safer. Very, very odd. It's very, very odd and confusing, right? But it'll let you start doing.
So they're incentivizing as well using more panic buttons. So this is again appealing to beginners. Like, yeah, double flip, don't worry, you won't get launched. Quick low into flip, don't worry, you won't get launched. This seems to be more appeasement for like the beginner, more casual side of law, I think.
Doing the extensions for them more often. So that's kind of interesting. Forward, forward.
They are dumbing down law like to an insane degree. Like dumbing him down.
3.
This makes me a little bit nervous, you know, for... a lot of people have told me, like, a lot of Kazuya players are butthurt about, if you haven't heard, when Kazuya is in heat, so this means he is devil, there's no longer a just frame input to his electric. And I told you guys in my breakdown of the character, you just do a wind god fist, and he'll do an electric. And a lot of people are like, oh my god, you're removing execution! I'm like, well... most of your time will be spent as normal Kazuya, and if you don't know how to electric, you are going to get fucked over by people who can electric. It's like, I'm fine with people getting the cool Duria when they're in heat. Let them have it, you know. Everyone thinks electrics are cool. Let them have that, but they're still going to get completely annihilated in the neutral when they're normal Kazuya if they can't do electrics. And also something to note is that you still have to input a wind god fist, right? And if you have a clunky input, you'll still get an electric when you're devil, but it will still be slower than someone who actually is inputting an electric or a perfect electric. So I'm like, you're still going to have that distinction between great execution and no execution. And again, it's only in heat, right? When he's devil. This is just taking the entire character and like removing every single fucking nuance in terms of like skill ceiling.
Power crush, right? Forward, forward 3, power crush. It is
so yeah, I gotta say, I'm worrying a little bit here for Steve and Brian. And Lee. Because those are characters that have like unbelievably high skill ceilings. So I'm a little bit worried.
Engager, heat dash, right? Obviously, because it's a heat
And
engager.
they did remove on Jin, you know, the Zen cancel. So, forward 4, Zen, Weiwu, immediate cancel into standing guard. That's removed. That's again, you know, it's a pretty big part of expert Jin gameplay. But still, he still has a lot of execution left and, you know, skill ceiling stuff.
Still a power crush. forward, forward 3 is now minus 13 on block. So that's a pretty good change, right? Because it made me want to start using forward, forward 3 more. So that was pretty good. That was a pretty solid change. I like that one a lot. Also, you know, this is not law related specifically, but Spag mentioned that the running tackle is gone from the game. It's not gone. The running shoulder that I always, whenever I see it hit someone, I'm like, oh, wow, the blockable shoulder, blah, blah, blah. That move is still in the game. So yeah. I don't know if it's just like a different build or what, but it's definitely still in the build that was at EVO Japan.
He's talking about what I was also very confused by Spag's video where he said running tackle is gone. What he meant was, you know, running into ultimate tackle, dropping on top of your opponent, mount position. That seems to be gone, but you can still do the running shoulder into plus frames. Although when I did that, I noticed that it was a different animation, and I don't think you get as many plus frames.
And that's something else I should mention. Right now we're talking about EVO Japan 2023 build of Tekken 8. It's the closed alpha test, right? The game's not even in beta yet, so whatever I'm telling you guys now might change in the future, right? Sidestep 2 is the new move. You guys know Law's forward 1+4 in Tekken 7. That move now is Sidestep 2, right? So it's a different arm. It seems pretty good. It's plus on block. I don't know how plus, but basically you can do Sidestep 2. If they jab and you jab, you get a counter hit. So basically Sidestep 2 into 1-1-1, which is a heat engage, is a...
I love the fact that I've turned Rip's 15-minute video. I'm at like 2/3, and I've been talking. We're at 26 minutes on my video. I can never shut up. I'm sorry. I find Tekken very interesting.
As the other one, it's plus. You heard it was 0. As far as I tested it, it was plus, because I was testing it specifically for that. Here's a very weird one. This one's very weird. All right. Law has.
I don't know. Maybe that's the point, making things more accessible to newbies. But this game has always been accessible to beginners, and that's what I find so beautiful about Tekken. Like, if you play Street Fighter, there are characters that are more execution than others, but all characters have execution. They all have links that you have to time properly. They all have quarter circle forward, specials, supers. They all have this. But what I always found so cool with Tekken is that you've got a character like Kazuya, which just insane execution, right? And relies on movement, etc., timing. His most important attack is a true just frame. And in the same game as him, you have Asuka, that compared to any character in Street Fighter is like no execution whatsoever. Back free, 1+2, back free. That's the character. And Tekken has always had plenty of characters like that. So the legacy characters that are so high in execution have always been, you know, a minority. And they require unbelievable execution. And you have Leroy, Claudio, etc., Katarina, etc., etc., etc. So that's why, did you have to do this to Law? Who was so beautiful in that God Law completely changes the character. With hard work, the character completely changes. And now that distinction is gone. They even had to nerf a character to appease the new reality of anyone cannot do this stuff. This is horrible. That was unique. And it's flushed down the toilet. And why? Why?
The manual parry, okay? Manual parry, back 1+3 or back 2+4. If you do that, you DSS and you get a follow-up attack, right? So in Tekken 7, you do parry, you get DSS 2 at the wall, so you get wall splat, or you do parry, you get DSS 1 into forward 1, or you get DSS 1 into forward 4, right? Whatever. So DSS 1 forward, 1 forward 1, right? This is weird. You get a parry in this game, manual parry, DSS 1, the high, is not guaranteed. Okay, I'll repeat that.
Okay.
Manual parry, DSS 1 is not guaranteed. But here is where it gets even weirder. Manual parry.
That was always the parry follow-up. So parry 1 into DSS legend kick.
It says forward 1 is guaranteed.
Oh, and that's the heat engager, obviously. So manual parry into heat engager. That's strong, though.
I don't understand. How is the slower move guaranteed, but the faster one is not? I don't understand what's going on there. There is some kind of manipulation happening in the frame data or something. Maybe we'll figure out an exploit for that later. But yeah, well, the thing is, that's the thing, right? Because they want you to be able to heat engage. So they want you to do manual parry heat engage, right? Or when you're in heat already, right? What ends up happening, you can do manual parry, DSS forward 1 in heat, and boom, you get a heat dash combo.
That's a launcher.
So now, manual parry, when you have heat,
is a launcher.
Is a launcher.
Yep.
So in heat, Law has back 1-2-2.
And it's like there's so many disgusting details like that. This on characters, it's like King's shove. Those of you who don't know about it, already in Tekken 7, it's just monstrously strong to the point of overpowered. And I always laugh, you know, when people tell me like, "Oh, Armor King is just as good as King, if not stronger." And I'm like, there's just so many reasons why King is the better character, but that shove is pretty high up there. It's like, if it's executed well, it's a 12 frame mid that hits very far, has a very deep hitbox. You can't crush it. It hits so low. And on block, it's neutral. Zero on block. And if it counter hits, kablam, King gets a guaranteed 4-4-2-1. So he has a free heat engager, because 4-2-1 is a very high damaging heat engager in Tekken 8. So basically, the way King players are gonna play Tekken 8 is they'll just throw that in the neutral, fish that counter hit at all times, taking zero risk. And when that counter hits, boom, 4-2-1 heat engager, you're gonna die. And when they are in heat, that's now a launcher. Because now when we're in heat, 4-2-1 is a launcher that does what? 35, 40 damage. Boom, boom. Heat dash combo. And you're dead. And if you mash into a King, his hyper armor stuff just eats, you know, almost any string you throw. And it's like, oof, yeah. It's going to be fun.
He's got punch parry, auto parry from DSS, and he's got manual parry launcher with DSS forward 1. And on top of that, he's also got the nunchucks. That's a launcher, right? It's a mid, so that's pretty good to mix it with down back 3s or something. That's a lot of cool stuff for Law there. But yeah, very weird though. It's very weird that the frame data doesn't work out the way you expect it to. I saw someone in the chat say earlier that DSS3 no longer is a screw attack. That is true, but instead your screw attack from DSS now is the way you expect it to. I saw someone in the chat say earlier that DSS3 no longer is a screw attack. That is true. But instead, your screw attack from DSS now is the nunchuck. So DSS 1+2 is your nunchuck attack. And
he hasn't even touched upon 3-4-4 yet.
Boom, that's your screw attack now. So if someone's in an airborne state and you're in DSS and you need to screw them, you DSS 1+2 for nunchuck them. This one is also super weird. I forgot about this one. I didn't even take this. Isn't in my notes. It just came out of my brain right now while I was talking about that. Junkyard. Back 2-3-4. Okay. Back 2-3-4 Junkyard.
Yeah, Rip is 40 or like 41.
Is a screw attack.
He looks fucking amazing.
It threw me off because I did like launcher, Junkyard, and then they screwed.
Very
like,
good
what the hell? I didn't even do a screw attack yet. I was trying to DSS, you know. So I DSS for no reason, and whether I DSS'd or not, it already was a screw attack. That totally threw me off. Very bizarre. The other thing that I couldn't figure out either. This is very weird. You guys know. You guys have watched me play Tekken 7. You know when it comes to the end of the round, Rip is trying to giant flip the hell out of there, right? Rip's trying to run away with giant flip all day, right? He's keeping the opponent away. Giant flip away. I don't know what the input of that is. I looked through the move list. It's not in the move list, okay? So I don't know what the hell the input is, but here's the thing. I did it once when I had heat. So I don't know if it's a heat exclusive move or heat exclusive move or what. I don't know. But that giant flip, full crouch, up, back, up, or up, forward, 4 does not work the same. So yeah, I don't know what
Did they remove giant flip? It's been there since Tekken 1.
Also, a lot of people are asking about Law's down forward 1+2 throw. Oh man, let me tell you guys about this. Law's down forward 1+2 throw, the the headlock, right, into the extensions. Down forward 1 plus 2 is no longer that throw. But you can still do that throw
Of
from
course.
up forward 1
Because
plus
down forward 1 plus 2 is the new universal rage art input. So up forward 1 plus 2 is pause, twist, and shout.
2. All right? Up forward 1 plus 2.
Yeah.
Want to hear some more weird stuff? Here's this. Imagine you go to DSS and you hit 2 plus 4. You probably expect to throw them, right? You probably expect a DSS grab maybe? DSS 2 plus 4 is not the grab anymore. Instead, DSS up forward 1 plus 2 is the old DSS 2 plus 4 grab.
Okay.
And thank you very much, No Juice. It's a 1 plus 2 break. So they changed the break on the DSS 2 plus 4 grab and also changed the input on it.
Oh, it was a 2 break, right?
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. So now the DSS grab is a 1 plus 2 grab. And I don't even know if there's a mix-up for the throw, but yeah, it's all kinds of weird. Dude, trust me, DSS up forward 1 plus 2 is like totally foreign to me, right? I couldn't figure out how to do it. But I think that's basically it. Hope you guys enjoyed this. All you YouTube people
But
who are...
is it me or didn't he mention 344? Did I miss that? Did I talk over it?
Say you do a screw attack, right?
He didn't. Really, he didn't. That's the most important change after DSS. He didn't mention that. It's arguably the greatest attack in all of Tekken 7. You know, where Law does a jumping double kick into a roundhouse. It's a 14 frame, no execution, long range mid launcher. It's arguably the best move in Tekken 7, and it no longer launches in Tekken 8. You've seen it in his trailer. He does the initial double kicks, and then he does a legend kick. And it's a natural combo. It does a lot of damage, but it's not a launcher. So I think that was to accommodate the new DSS change. They removed the execution, and it would have been too much to leave... if anyone now suddenly can do while standing for counter it 344, it probably would have made Law busted if anyone could do that. So I think it was to accommodate the new DSS, the brain dead DSS. But it's also a big nerf to the character. Best whiff punish, arguably best block punish in Tekken 7, and it's gone. But so many changes to Law here that I just disapprove of. DSS, I didn't realize. I should have realized right now you can manual DSS, hold down forward and slide immediately, and it's like, I gotta know, he's putting a really brave face on this. He's I don't know if I want to say he's being a Chad about this. Maybe it is being a Chad, having all of that removed on your character, all of that hard work and taking it with a smile, but I would very, very much disapprove of this. To me, the equivalent is taking Kazuya and you're now doing wave dash by mashing down forward. Like you did in Street Fighter X Tekken, by the way. Oh, on electric? It's not a just frame. You have 3 frames of leniency, even when you're not Devil. I would be like... to be honest, I don't do that sort of stuff. But I would probably do multiple videos and try and tweet to Murray and Harada. I'm like, please, please don't do that. Like, think of a Mishima legacy here and just don't do this. It's such a mistake. And honestly, I feel like I'm more upset about this than Rip is. I don't know, obviously. I only have this video to judge it by, but I would probably be pleading, like, please don't do this to Law. It's one of the most interesting things in Tekken to look at how a normal Law plays and how an expert plays Law. It's a beautiful thing in Tekken, seeing that distinction. And please don't remove that. So really great breakdown here of Rip. And it seems like making flips safer is also a bit of a, you know, we want beginners like those flips. They shouldn't get punished too hard. Those are good panic buttons. And it's again turning him into more of a little bit more of a mash character, appeasing beginners. So yeah, I don't know. It's like, I really loved Law's trailer. I really loved it. It is one of my favorites. And he's so articulate. I love his new costume. I love the use of nunchucks. Like, everything is great. But then these gameplay changes, I'm like, what the fuck? Visually, with the character, you're killing it. And I love a nunchuck. But what the fuck are you doing to his gameplay? I gotta say, like, in terms of gameplay, I loved everything at the alpha, including Heat Electric with Kazuya. I don't mind it, but what they're doing to Law, I'm like, a little bit of a tragedy, if you ask me. A little bit of a tragedy. So, yeah, good video by Rip, and I hope you enjoyed my commentary on it as well. And we'll just see how this progresses, if they revert some of this stuff. But if they don't, it means the new philosophy on Law is that he will now be a purely beginner character. Is what it seems like. Have a great day.